Welcome to another St. Cloth Myth video review. Today we're going to be looking at the latest release in the EX line, which is Aries Mu. So we first encounter the character of Aries Mu when Dragon Shiryu is trying to get the armors of Pegasus and Dragon fixed. And later we find out that not only does Mu know how to fix armors, but he's actually also the guardian of the first house in Sanctuary. So the boxes for the EX line come with a glossy sleeve that fits over the box, and this has shots of the character and some of the information for the product. This leaves room for Bandai to give the box an actual design, and here you can see the box is actually based on the Pandora boxes, which is where the saints would store their cloths. So it's a cool throwback to the series. On the front of the box we have the logo for the constellation of the character. In this case it's the ram for Aries Mu. So once you crack open the box you get 3 plastic containers with all the stuff, and as you can see Aries Mu comes with a lot of goodies. And as usual he comes with the instructions. I find the instructions are usually really helpful at putting the object form together. Not so much putting the armor on the figure after you've done a couple. So here we have the object mode, the anime version. It's a little bit different than the manga version because the head is made from part of the waist armor, and the actual head that goes on the back of Aries Mu's armor is on the back of the neck of the object mode, which is a little creepy looking to say the least. And here is the manga version object mode. My favorite out of the two. It looks like a real ram, and as you can see the horns are actually different. They're segmented. Since we're on the subject of the horns, Bandai included 2 sets of little connectors for them. One that actually swivels, and then the other one that just stays in place. The one staying in place, I believe, being for the object mode, and the connector with the swivel joints being for the armor when it is put on Aries Mu. The object mode is fairly tall, standing at about 5 inches, with Aries Mu being about 7 inches. So the EX bodies are the next evolution in the St. Cloth Myth bodies. And being as such, they borrow quite a bit from the Generation 3 bodies. They have a lot of the same articulation, although the EX bodies are about 1 inch or 2 taller, and also a lot slimmer to allow for better proportions when the figure has the armor on. So I made a little montage to show you guys the progression of putting the armor on the figure. So one of the improvements with the EX armor is the torso armor slides in underneath the chest and then it clasps over the waist to give the figure a slimmer look. Another major improvement with the EX line is the waist armor. The sides of the waist armor are attached by a ball joint, which then connects to a swivel joint, and that attaches to the main piece of the armor. This allows for a lot of mobility with the side pieces of the armor. The front piece has a similar setup going on, except it has double connections to the main piece of the armor. Finally, the rear piece only has a single connection. So the improved connections of the side skirts and the front of the armor allow for greater mobility of the armor and hence better mobility of the legs. So another improvement with the EX figures is the new 3-piece plastic capes that come with the figures. Each piece moves individually, so you can get a lot of dynamic poses, like making it look like the cape is blowing in the wind. With the EX Aries we get 4 different face sculpts. We get the eyes closed, a smiley kind of smirky face, a neutral face, and then the action screaming face. We also get 4 separate hair pieces, with the one on the far right being the one you clip on when you put the helmet on Aries. The EX Aries Mu also comes with a decent amount of hands. We have a pair of hands with the fingers extended all the way back, one pair with the fingers extended partially back, Then we also have a pair of hands for holding items, We have a pair of closed fists with the armor and a pair of closed fists without the armor. And we also get the tools that Aries uses to repair the armors. So comparing the new Aries Mu with the old release, the new one, as you can see, is a lot taller, slimmer, and has a better face sculpt. The hair sculpt for the EX figure is also a pretty good improvement. You can see a lot more individual strands of hair than you could with the original release. Also, the color has been changed from the original. The newer one is a much lighter purple. The armor of the EX Aries Mu also saw a color change. The new armor has more of a yellow golden color to it. On the other hand, the color of the original release was more of a rustic gold color. Although I really like this figure, there's a couple things that I did not like. For instance, the horns with this figure, you can tell where Bandai cut them at the factory. It kind of messes with the aesthetics. It doesn't look as clean and nice. On the other hand, the horns for the original release are actually pretty clean, so it's kind of something that they did better with the first release. The other thing I didn't like was the fact that you can see part of the shoulder exposed because of the way that the armor was built. And it looks a little funny because you can see the little anorexic man that is inside of the armor. With this release, there was a substantial amount of plastic that was used in building the armor. We have the helmet, we have the horns on the shoulders, we also have the little diamond that goes on the front of the waist armor, we have the armor that goes around the torso, and then also the coverings that go on the hands are made of plastic. Everything else, though, is made of die-cast metal. All around, though, this is a really nice figure, and granted, some people might not want to get him because they already have the original release, but this figure does have that extra mobility, and that allows you to get a lot of the cool poses. I know I wanted to pick him up so I can get a proper Athena exclamation pose once I get Scorpio, since I already have Leo and Aries. So thanks for watching the Same Cloth Myth video review of Aries Mu. I will continue to cover the Same Cloth Myth line with CollectionDX, and I will try to do the video reviews, although I might not be able to sometimes. So don't forget that we do have written reviews on the main CollectionDX site, not only Same Cloth Myth, but a lot of other different lines. So check out the main site if you already haven't at collectiondx.com. I will see you guys around.